So anyways, the once the stuff starts going, it's going to be dramatic. It's going to go crazy, and it's going to be dangerous, and people are going to be running like chaos, and running and freaking out and stuff. And so, and it's such a trap. It's such a trap, man. It's not just my area. It's like that whole fucking area up. Like, if you understood how many people there were in that area, in the one way out. I mean, they could go down towards Oregon and go down the coastline, but I think once the tsunami, once the coastline starts bucking up, they're going to have to be going away from the coastline. So they can't evacuate and go down towards California, which I think the reverberations will be going, because there's so much activity off of the Oregon coast. That's where all of these scientists are focused, because there's these plumes or something. There's these hot plumes that are busting through the ground out in the ocean, and it's coming from the volcanoes and the tectonic plate shifting. So they know something's happening. So yeah, I don't think any of the people can go that direction. And there would be, I mean, they could go up towards Canada, but I don't know that very many would, I mean, there would be some probably that would try and head up towards Canada, but then they would also be following the reverberation line, and going towards Mount Baker, which Mount Baker, if it's the gaseous kind, is going to be putting out toxic fumes. It won't just be shooting lava. It's going to be puffing out these fumes that are gas that choke you out and kill you. So yeah, going that way, whatever's meant to happen to you is meant to happen to you. You can't run from it. And that doesn't mean you just sit down and wait to die. You go wherever it is, you run for your life, you do whatever it takes, you fight to the end, because, if you don't, you'd be mad at yourself when you got to your life review. And you would probably question yourself, if you would have fought, would I have been able to make it? And so you want to fight, to the end, but you can't change destiny. And this is where, well, oh my gosh, my mom is getting so irritated with my perspective on things. And yesterday again, she was like, okay, we can't talk. So, and yesterday was something, there was a couple of different things, but my views on the immigration stuff. Like, I know there's some people who have disagreed with me on here and think, we need strong borders and all that stuff. I just don't see that as where we're going. I don't. It's like that was something that we had before, but we're breaking free from it. We're coming together as humans. And this is another thing that always gets me, is like, but if you're very much like claiming to worship the one and only God, the creator of all things, then that creator created us all. So you think that he wants us to stay divided and hate each other, to be divided on our differences? That doesn't make any sense to me. But that is where people get comfortable. Well, no, we got to weed out the bad people. Well, then who's deciding who's the bad people? And when did they decide you're the bad people? Because that's what we're going through right now, where they're turning the tables and they're saying, these people are bad, these people are bad. And so that is this, that's part of the awakening and stuff. But you can't see it until you see it. And so there's lots of people who don't see what I see. And so, to me, are going towards this renewed, revitalized human presence on this planet. And it's based more on connection. And it isn't where you have to love everybody, just love them. But you have to love them enough to respect them, not try and change them, not try and say that they're stupid, they should do this, they shouldn't have done that, and all that kind of stuff. It's just a basic, like, you'll get through it. You're doing great. You're making good choices. I'm glad to know, like, to see for my own self, like, how things can work out in these different directions, and to just, like, go on the ride with them a little bit or something. Be supportive, but not try and ridicule or change people. And so that, So anyways, that is this movement that we're going towards, in this realization, you know, that we're all really the same, not this division. Well, they talk different, they look different, so they need to go live somewhere else. And so the news is very much on this whole thing about, you know, getting rid of the immigrants, because of all these horrible murders and stuff. And so they're doing a whole series about all these people who were talking to their families, and they were all killed by these people who were here illegal and stuff like that, which those people are really committing horrible crimes. Don't forget who these people are. You know, they're CARTEL, they're ISIS, they're these people who are trained to traumatize and torture and stuff. So, yeah, it's bad. But to me, it's like, well, how is it that, you know, to say like, well, we get rid of all of these people? I mean, we still have murders. So is that okay? We still have these people in here who are murdering us. We still have these people who are driving around drunk, slamming into us when we're going from point A to point B. We still have people, you know, on their phones, which I'm guilty of too, man. I have been doing videos and swerved into the other lane so many times, but it hasn't been my destiny. You know, it's been my wake up. Like, Kelly, get it together. So, but, you know, sometimes it's a deeper wake up call. It's a trauma that you have to experience, and it's all based on what you're here to experience. And so, anyways, I personally don't just look at it as like, oh, well, we've got these foreigners here, so we've got all this crime. It's like, no, they're the instigators that came here to commit crimes, to wake us up and to torture us and stuff, because they're hired by these other people. And that's part of what we're going to wake up to, is that the people, how corrupt they are, that are paying these people and running this show. And so that is a part of it. But another part of it is too, is like, you know, we had crimes before. There was people out killing us all the time. People out killing us in all different ways. Like, that's not a new thing. It's not something we can just blame on them. Oh, well, the immigrants, they brought the crime. The crime's been here ever since I was a kid. Like, it's been here. So I don't know. And but it's very much like the people on that bandwagon. You see that bandwagon, so I say, you know, that, like, well, we've got people killing us here all the time. Like, I can't. Yeah, but they're here legally. It's like, but that. I this is all to get people to check themselves, to look at things and stuff, and so, and then that, I don't know, the conversation had shifted to some other stuff, you know, and it's like, yeah, but that's destiny. That is, like, if that's what's going to happen, then that's what's going to happen. You can't change destiny. Destiny is playing out, and that's where the line was. Okay, we think so different, and I was like, yeah, we think very different. Like, we have very different perspectives on life and what we're doing here and stuff. And so I just went downstairs, and you know, when I went through my thought process and stuff, but it was definitely trippy, because it's these conversations that I would have with my mom when I was younger. And that's why I'm saying it's weird, because it's like going this full circle. And, you know, and I've been trying to tell her stuff that I knew, but it's weird when you say things that the people in your physical, and they don't listen, or don't, it's like they don't, I don't know, it's weird. It's like they don't listen to you, or they don't value your opinion, or they don't respect it, or you couldn't possibly know, or something. I'm not really sure what the deal is. I gotta turn this off. It was some old movie that was going with William Shatner and Sybil Shepherd, which they were hitting each other. I'm not sure. Now I'm kind of like, what is this movie about? And but it just ended, and then this preacher guy keeps coming across my YouTube, and keeps coming and coming, and then that went on. I don't know, maybe they're trying to get me to listen to what he has to say or something. maybe I'll listen today and see. But I feel the same way. I start listening to some people, and it's just like, what are you talking about? And so that's her reaction to me. Is like, what are you talking about? Like, but yeah, I look at things so different, and it's so weird because you think of like spiritual and religion would kind of be on the same kind of wavelength or something, but it's not at all. Because I'm very much about love and unity and what would God really want from us, and what do I when I was a kid, I started putting it into the perspective of, if you're a parent, what would you want of your kids? Maybe that's when I become a parent. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I started using that perspective of like, if you were God and that you had your kid, your creation, would you want them all to be divided and hate each other, or would you want them all to get along? And so that to me is like, I'm pretty sure God wants us all to get along. And but then it's like, yeah, well, some people are bad. It's like, yeah, but we all have a moral compass. Yeah, but not everybody's is on. But this is stuff to turn it on. This is the weeding out. And before, people were playing roles. There was all different soul stories. There was people who were going to be murdered. There was people who were going to murder. There was people who was, all those things have played out throughout time, through different souls' journeys and soul stories. So yeah, they were going to be playing out because everybody has their own destiny, their own life journey, their own storyline. So all those storylines, confirmation, have to play out. And so that is not, but they created us to be in fear of other people's, what happens to somebody else could happen to me. It won't happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. Nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. Nothing can happen to you unless it's destiny. Nothing is by accident. You're not changing the laws of nature today when you get up, and you're not changing the universe. You're not doing any of that. You're not fooling them. You're not tricking them. You're on a ride, and the ride's going. And whatever your perspective is of the ride is just like, okay, I don't know. It seems like you just start looking deeper and you can see. That's what trips me out. It's like, it's so clear to me. It's so easy to see. And so, but my life journey has been focused on, my orb, and what's it doing here? What's it all about? Why am I here? What am I doing? And my connection to the other side, which I've been in contact with since I was really little. So that is, I don't know. And I have been told things, I've known things, I've told people things, and I've seen it play out over and over and over. Just like I'm watching this stuff play out, the stuff that I say, watching it just go and happen and happen. So, and it doesn't have to be all like, these minute details, but this watching the energy, it's like this energetic kind of thing, And so that's how I could see like this, that people were asleep and that they weren't awake. They weren't NPCs. They were asleep. They were in autopilot. They were in pain and suffering. They're just trying to be a good person. They're just trying to be liked. They're just trying to build a persona out here in this crazy, weird world that they feel disconnected to, and they feel scared because they don't feel connected, because they've interfered with your connection. They've interfered with your soul and your avatar completing the circuit. And so it's that's up to you to pull yourself in. And so once you pull yourself in, then you know not to hurt other people, because you feel it too much inside of you. You wouldn't hurt somebody else because you would feel it deep inside of you. You would know as an intelligent being that when you run into issues or problems, you need to work it out. You need to think it through. You need to resolve your own issues, like that's evolved kind of person. And that's what we're moving into, not this, childlike, temper tantrum, dependent. Like there's a lot of toxic characteristics of humans that we're breaking free from. And so it's an elaborate scheme of this changing us into this new perspectives and stuff. But anyways, I could see it playing out for a long time. And I've had good communication, so I can always say that, because I don't know. But anyways, so but it was really showing me too of like the stuff from when I was a kid, and the things I would say and nobody listening, and always having the always being in the position of I'm in the wrong. No, you're not right. You're not right. The Bible's right. You're wrong. You're talking to devils and stuff like that. And so, which to me, it's like, even if you just took the book away, even if you just went in the world and you tried to figure out what was going on, I think it wouldn't take you long before you would start realizing that destiny's at play. Things happen. They happen all day long. They happen for you. And yesterday when I was up there downloading, I was sitting out in front of Starbucks for a while, and it seems like it gives you some, and then it just stops. And so I'll have to go back and forth from Safeway to Starbucks sometimes to keep the videos going, because they'll just be going and then they just stop. And it's like you run out of Wi-Fi or something in some of these places. I don't know. It's weird. And so, but I was watching the people, and so now the thing is people order their drinks online, and then they just pull up. They don't go through the line to get them. Well, some may, because I guess it depends on the line. But all these people just pull up, and then they just go in and get their drinks. So they must pay for them, do everything, and they must just have them all sitting back there. And then you walk up and you tell them your name and you get your drink and you go or something, because they just go in and go out, go in and go out, go in and go out. And so watching all these people, it was just reminding me of a video game. I think like Pac-Man, and just this consumption, just, it was thinking about these video games and thinking about how like we're replicas of these video games, just consuming, go to the next thing, consuming. And it's like, God, that's so weird, because it's so much like that. It's like so many people are just in this mindless state of existence. And so that's what this awakening is all about, to bring you into a present state, into the here and now, into being more evolved and being more resolved into the present dynamic of experience. And so and as you realize that things have a set time and place, and that the things that happen to you happen for you because you grew from all of the different things that you went through, then you start seeing, oh, all these events are charted in. They're on the calendar in my life. All these things that are going to happen have a time and place that they're going to happen in my life, because of I'm going to grow from these different experiences. And you have these all through your life, and they're all set up, and they're set up to the microsecond of interaction. And so that is set. That's set. That's what we call destiny. That's what you call that. Fate is that you're going to have those dates on your calendar. They're going to happen. Those fated events, it's going to go. And when you realize those kinds of things, I don't know, there's just like, I don't know how to go from the one perspective into the other. But I know, it was easy for me, but I was young a long time ago. And it was just like, in my guidance, there was a lot of stuff being said at church and Sunday school and stuff. And they were always telling me, what was wrong. Like, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. And so, and I would try and tell people, I tried to tell Sunday school teachers, I tried to tell preachers, like, I tried to tell them, but nobody would ever listen to me. Nobody was ever like, oh, she's talking to, like, maybe we ought to listen. No, it was never like that, never. And so, so then I went, I was looking more, but when the look begins, it starts coming to you. Once you open your eyes in a direction, the information starts coming to you. So the first because I know the things that were significant to me. Marianne Williamson, the Celestine Prophecy, in my reality, she wrote it. So whoever wrote it in this one is, I don't even know if it's the same book, honestly. So, it sounds like it though when I hear people talk, but anyways, that was in Shirley MacLaine's books. Dr. Moody was very significant in mine, and so there was a lot of information that I was reading, and it was like would come to me, like even at the end of the books, it would say, check out this book, check out. I think that's how I figured out Dr. Moody and stuff. But and that took me into the understanding of reincarnation, near-death experiences, and all that stuff. And reincarnation always made more sense to me. If you're born once, why would you be born once and not a million times? And so then the more you look into that stuff, the more it just starts making sense of like why we're here and what we're doing here and stuff. And you start seeing, oh, we just are, it's a cycle of experience, and you go in and you get to experience all these different parts of yourself, just like in a dream, how you have like a whole bunch of dreams and you have different experiences. So that's the same thing, and it's the intelligence of the universe. It brings in the intelligence of the universe through experience and stuff to see. So anyways, it all has the stuff to do with it. To me, it was easy, and then it just kept elaborating on, you know, the stuff that I had understood and knew. But so the other, where it's like, you know, you don't question the Bible, you don't question your preacher, you don't question that information, you just are a blind follower. I just was never like that. And so I don't know, for people who have, that's their, you know, the thing they're here to play out, to experience. I don't know, you know, those people will have to probably say, you know, what it was, how they broke out of it, because it's their experience, you know. They are going through the experience of being, to me, it's being misled, because when you start paying attention, the things that they tell you don't make sense. It just don't make sense. And then when you start looking and seeing that, you know, they're trying to create so much division and hate, that's what always gets me. It's like, how do these people not recognize the division and hate that is coming from this, in the hierarchy and the ego, you know, like being best friends with Jesus is, you know, like, I don't know, there's just a lot to it. And so there's a lot that has to break down, but it's just trippy for me, you know, in this, going through this experience again, all these years later, of saying things and it just being, no, you just, you know, like I'm so off, and I'm so, and to me, it's like, but, you know, I could talk to my mom and she'd be like, yeah, well, I've lived my life this certain way and I know this is the truth. And so, you know, but it always is, it ends up being, well, we'll see, you know, somebody's right and somebody's wrong. And, oh yeah, yesterday too, I said about the planes going, and I said they had been showing that in movies, that there was going to be planes falling from the sky, so I knew that that was coming. And yesterday I was watching a movie too, and just out of the blue, for no fucking reason, these two guys are talking, and all of a sudden there's a sign behind them that says "Fog kills." Okay, like that's not on purpose. It's not a little insight to us. So, anyways, I've been saying that long enough. So, anyways, the Cracker Barrel. No, what am I saying? The people that they yeah, I never understand the the feeling comfortable being hating other people that you don't know. I just don't understand that. I mean, I have people that even fuck me over and I don't hate them. I don't want anything to do with them, but I don't hate them. I don't give them all my energy. So, I don't know. To me, religion is so much about focusing on hate, focusing on division, focusing on you're better than other people and stuff. So it's always weird to me. It just never has been in alignment with me. Oh, my hair gets stuck under my stuff. Oh. So, like I get stuck in between shirts and stuff. So, anyways, let me think, because I was on a rant about something, I think, and then I forgot. um, but I probably needed. Oh, yeah, okay, the airplane thing. Okay, so the airplane's falling out of the sky in the movies, and I said, so I knew that there was going to be that, and they've got them going now. And I said, I think it has something to do with the atmosphere. I think it has something to do with the atmospheric changes of direction that we're going through as a planet. But, and it could have more complications too with all the chemicals and the frequency they're trying to interfere with. It's going to backfire on them. And so to me, there's, that happening, this natural order of change. But, and I've been saying for a long time, I'd be staying on the skies. Like, it's not going to be good. And there's been crashes. I don't know why all of a sudden all these people are like, there's just these crashes. Like last month, there was crash after crash. The Boeings were having problems. Like, there was shit going down last. It's like these waves come in, and it's like people don't know what. It's the weirdest thing. It's like it's new. And so, but anyways, I told my mom, I said, the planes are all falling out of the skies and stuff. And they showed that in the movies, and she said, oh, because they were showing the rapture. These people are all, and I said, so this is the rapture? And she said, well, no, because I'm still here. And so, see, she's dead set on this rapture thing. Like, these people, like, I don't know what goes on at church. Like, if they're all preparing and talking about it the whole time, or what the hell is going on. But they're dead set on that this is going down. That's why I said they can create that for themselves. They can believe that, and they can all leave at the same time somehow. And that is the rapture, and that shows the rest of us, like, our abilities or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't think that the planes falling out is the pilots rapturing and stuff. Like, I don't think that. So anyways, I'm going to be right back, because I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to try and download all 3 of these while she is at church. So hopefully that all goes. I think it will. I think I can get them all on today, even though there's going to be those gaps, which drives me crazy. The gaps in between. I like it when it's, goes on. I can't wait to get this thing. I'm on the countdown now that I know I'm getting it next Friday. It's like, oh my God, I'm so close. And then I'm going to have that, and it's going to be like, things are going to get. To me, I feel very much still of this, like, get a camper or something so I can be wheels, not up in the air. And, but there's gonna be, there's gonna be problems. Like, there's gonna be problems with roads and shit. There's gonna be lots of problems. But more, not just, going all over the place. Like, yeah, that'll be more maybe when we get our hover cars, because then we'll be like driving drones. We'll be able to drive around, and it won't be like, the ground things won't affect us. But, the plan to me is, get a camper so I have someplace that's my own bed and stuff that I can have with me. But then to try and look for like a little farm or something. And it may be in the Freedom Cities. We just got to watch how things play out. If that could very well be, the West Coast could very well be the giant disaster that just is the trauma that wakes all the people up, that turns everything in this other direction. So, and it could be close. There's so many people that keep having it. And that whole thing about me moving, and me moving fast and stuff, and not even getting the opportunity to battle in court and to go and try and fight them, which I could have with the first one, but the attorney that came back on that, and then to me, I put it up to the universe. It's like, you guys just show me what it is that you want from me, what it is I'm supposed to be doing here, if I'm supposed to be leaving here or something. And there was so many things where I was like, oh my God, it sucks, man. There's a lot of things I was not happy about being over there. And so now, I'm I know that there will be doors that will open. I know things will open up and be more clear. It's not like you have to force things. When things seem really unclear and hard to see, it's because you're trying to force it. You got to sit back and learn how to relax and let things play out, let things reveal themselves. And so, anyways, but I'm still going to set goals and make a plan and stuff. But that is going to be my plan, to get a camper or something that I can drive around and have the dogs in it, and we can sleep in it. And then look for a place where I can get, my own little farm going, my own little house. And mine I want to have, it's not going to be like a farm, but I want to have a house. I want to have a guest house. I want to have an art studio. I want to have a animal barn. I want to have like an outdoor kind of like garden area of a place to eat, like where, to go sit outside and eat, like a group of people or something. And then I also I've seen this so many times. I think it's so cool. It's like these outdoor, like these greenhouse bathroom kind of things. It's like these really cool big clawfoot tubs with tons of plants, tons of windows. So it's like a greenhouse, but all the plants surround the tub. And then it's all like this really cozy and steamy kind of thing in this room. I've seen some really cool ones. So I really want to have one of those. I think that would be really cool. But that's like where we get to build our own meccas, our own little fantasy lands. And that's where you can get creative. And, we're not going to have limitations. It's not going to be like a 2-car garage and 2.2 kids and 15 TVs and 25 phones. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be a lot of it, where do you find your fulfillment? Okay, well, I'm going to stop and I'll be back.